like to make a short video on my kayak, how it's set up for fishing. I've seen a lot of good videos out there. Everybody describing, showing how they've set their kayaks up. I just kind of like to share my take on it. This Field and Stream Eagle Talon 12 kayak, pretty much standard. About the only thing I've done is I've changed the seat out in it to make it a little bit more comfortable, a little higher back, a little more support. I've seen a lot of people that have used milk crates for their storage and everything, and I've pretty much decided against that in favor of modifying a cooler. And basically what I've done is I've added some piece of PVC pipe screwed into the cooler and strapped down with a big bungee cord to handle pliers and my knife. The pliers I've got on a retractable lanyard that I keep set up. I found that keeps everything pretty nice for me. Not a lot of difficulties. If I drop them overboard, I keep them. The other thing I've done to the cooler is I've mounted another little tackle box directly to the top of it by use of some rivets and just a drop of 5200 marine sealer. And you see I've got a couple flares in there just in case of emergency when I'm offshore, some bottom rigs, lead, things of that nature. I've got a couple of smaller boxes that I keep stashed normally behind the seat or in the live well over here, or the dry well, excuse me. Made myself a set of wheels, just simply out of PVC pipe, piece of aluminum tubing for the axle, and a couple wheels that I found in a bin at a junk shop for, I think it was $2 or $3. I've also added a center pipe. It's just below the wheel line. It doesn't interfere with carrying the kayak in any way. But to that, I've added an old bamboo fishing rod with basically a little parachute that I had for a kite years ago. It waves around in the wind quite nicely and shows up really well. On the other side, I've also added another piece of PVC pipe to put my fishing net in, and where I've tied that off with just one of these handy little quick clips. It works quite nicely. Run that up and drop that in with a little button that I've made out of a piece of pool float to hold that in where it won't get thrown out. I've also made some lanyards up for my fishing rods so they don't get thrown overboard. One of the other things that I've done that seems to work out really nicely is for my anchor for the rope, I've taken one of the little Speedo high density foam pool floats, put it on my bandsaw and cut it out like you see it. And by doing that, it's actually got enough buoyancy to where it will float the entire anchor if I happen to drop the whole rig overboard. All that secured by a carabiner on one of the eyes. The only other modification is I've added some eyes right here, some loops for tie downs. My dry storage box. Of course, I've got my chum net. I've got a coffee can in there that holds a headlight, and various other items that I want to keep absolutely dry. Then, of course, in here, tied off, I've got a strobe light in case I'm out a little bit late at night. And then I've got my regular dry box. It's one of the types that has the 4 clip downs on it. Keep everything absolutely dry, won't get knocked around and spring open accidentally. But that's all tied in with strings to where when I want something, all I have to do is just pull all this mess out, and I pretty much got it at my fingertips. That way, if I get questioned for my fishing license or anything like that, then I don't have to go rooting around in a whole bunch of places. Got my lip grippers and my scupper plugs. I have added a painter line onto the front, which comes in handy in a lot of different cases, going in and out. That's pretty much it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave comments, let me know what you think. One other thing to add to this is I'm a big guy, around about 350 pounds, just under 6 feet tall, and this kayak is really, really stable with me in it. And because of my size and because of my age, I've got some limited mobility, which is actually the reason why I've set everything up pretty much at my fingertips. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think.